Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the GT7 Season 1. We are back here in the Daytona Speedway for another brilliant race here in the GT7 tier. You can see the cars just all lined up in the pit lane. We're getting ready to go. Once again, if you weren't with us last week, we were in Interlagos and it was a brilliant race won by Hasnian for the Ashia Racing team. Was a great race there to kick off the GT7 season. We're lined up in the pit lane here. We're going to have about 14 drivers providing the action for you all this evening, and it's going to be an absolute cracking Grand Prix around the Daytona Speedway here in the United States. First planned, of course, in 1953. Daytona Speedway was first planned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting ready for qualifying. You can see the guys lined up in the pit lane, and we're green. Here we go. 8 minutes of qualifying exactly to go. You can see there in the bottom left hand of your screen, it just came up. We are ready to go for qualifying here in Daytona. Drivers coming out on the circuit. You can see Toby here in the Turner's BMW. Had a good race last week, did Toby. He managed to come across 8th on a track that definitely did not suit the car. The car for tonight to watch is most certainly the GR Supra. That is the one we want to keep an eye on, the Toyota Supra. Toyota, of course, winning Le Mans at the weekend, so can they win PSGL tonight? We'll have to definitely wait and see. But we're on board with Petty Petya. He's the first man out on the circuit. We can see it is a night time here in the United States and here in Daytona, just up the road from the famous Daytona Beach. That's Petty Petya in the Subaru. Had a great race last week. He's in the Slag Racing team, and that was a 3rd and 4th for them with Brownski and Petty Petya, the Hungarian. We're already about a minute into qualifying, folks, so there's not going to be much time for a lap to be put in. Hold on a second. There's the race info. I was wondering where it was, but we will only have about 2 or 3 laps if they're lucky here in qualifying. It was much more in Interlagos. That was due to the short nature of the circuit. It's about a 1 minute 42 is what we're going to be looking for here in qualifying around Daytona Speedway. Welcome everybody. If you're just joining us, qualifying just underway. You're at the perfect time. It was Hasnian, of course, who won last week. He is the man currently. He'll be starting his lap last. It'll be Petty Petya who starts his lap first. He's rounding the banking, just gone through the bus stop. Funnily enough, the bus stop chicane in Daytona, now called the Le Mans chicane. So there's your fun fact of the day. And then the first chicane down the Mulsanne in Le Mans is now called the Daytona chicane. Anyone who was watching Le Mans at the weekend will know that. Here comes Petty Petya then, starting his qualifying lap down in towards turn 1. H Racing Green has opted for the pit lane. I am hopefully not having any issues. He was having a few connection issues last week, but he is in the pit lane now on our screens. Here comes Petty Petya down towards the International Horseshoe, turn number 3. There's actually only 2 corners named on this circuit. That is the bus stop, or now the Le Mans chicane, and the International Horseshoe, which Petty Petya has just gone through. But we see him here down towards turn number 5. Very tricky corner. The car can often oversteer into the grass, but he seems to have it hooked up well. These guys are very talented at the wheel of a sports car. The GR.3s we're racing here, of course. The GR.3s. Decent run so far here for Petty Petya. He's looking to get into the 41s. Is really the goal that they want to get in. Possibly break into the 39s. That's what the front runners would be doing in the respective tiers. We'll give you a quick reminder of last week though, while we're waiting on him to complete his lap. You can keep an eye on it there. It was Hasnian who won ahead of H Racing Green, then Brownski, Petty Petya, Bonnie, and then it was Oscar. Oscar unfortunately has dropped out due to injury. He's been replaced by Yassit Perez, part of the Yassit and Veloce team. He's in the Genesis machine. It was then Mr. Slowly, Toby, YRS, Fred Dude, and then Geordie Boy in 11th with El Cubal and Philip Wouters being the 2 in retirements there. A few new faces this evening. But here comes Petty Petya, and he's just rounded the banking, and he's going to be completing his qualifying lap now. We are almost 4 minutes into qualifying. It's a 1:48.7 for Petty Petya. Can Geordie Boy beat that? He can smash it. 46.7 for Geordie Boy. Toby has to serve a penalty. That lap is gone. Here comes H Racing Green, the man to beat. Although said he'll be struggling to beat the Supers tonight, the Mercedesman. Not setting a lap there. There goes the Hungarian of Piagci. He's had enough there. He's pulled into the pit lane already. Braneski goes to second. Here comes Fred Dude, the Belgium. El Cubal going to get a toe, and it's going to sky up to the top. He was on pole last week in Interlagos, but unfortunately did not complete the race. As there's a lot of guys already into the pit lane, which is surprising enough. They'll only get really one lap in at the end of the session, because of course there's no running over here in qualifying in the GT7 tier, not like F1 where you have a few minutes to run to complete your lap. It ends bang on 8 minutes, and we've just hit the 5-minute mark. Have a stopwatch up beside me to keep you updated. It's just hit the 5-minute mark, folks, so only 3 minutes left to qualifying here. Very, very interesting. Petit Petiat's on another run. He's improving as he heads into the Le Mans chicane. Oh, he's lost it there. He's lost it big time there, and this isn't going to be much of an improvement unless his last lap was absolutely horrendous. There won't be much of an improvement. Brownski is pulled off to the left-hand side after turn number 6. Here comes Piagci. You can barely see the car there, but trust me, it's an absolutely stunning livery for the 77 machine. As you can see, Yassi Perez just in front of him, absolutely pushing. Piagci set his lap and then returned straight to the pit lane. It was probably the smarter thing to do than the likes of Yassi Perez, who just pulled straight into the pit lane. But it's currently El Cubal on pole for the Royal Watambe team, heading through the bus stop, the number 7. Gets that car hooked up nicely there. That's a decent run here. He could improve on his lap even more. Oh no, he's 19 seconds down. Never mind. He won't be improving on that one. What about Fred Dude in the Mazda? The Mazda, a very solid car on its tyres. He heads in towards turn number 1. Geordie Boy, not too far behind. Geordie Boy was unfortunately well off the pace last week. Reminder on what tyres they're using, the mediums and the hards. You have to use the mediums and hards for 25% of the race. That was 9 laps into Lagos, but I imagine it'll be much less here. It's a much longer circuit. Here comes Geordie Boy rounding the start-finish straight. Doesn't improve in his time. Still some big names here. Bonnie in the Beetle, the Volkswagen Beetle. The chat last week decided probably the nicest looking livery on the grid for the 123 Beetle of OP Bonnie, the Italian, heading down towards the Le Mans chicane. Qualifying almost over here, folks. We're into the last minute, so this is going to be really close. There goes Bonnie through the Le Mans chicane. It's going to be really close here, folks, on who is going to take the pole, because some drivers only really getting one lap in, and that's not very good because you can't get yourself up to speed just in one lap. Here comes Bonnie. He's going to cross the line now. Where can the Volkswagen Beetle go around Daytona? It's going to go to third, and that's not a bad attempt, just behind H Racing Green, who crosses the line himself now. He's not going to get another lap in. That was his final attempt. El Cubal is going to get to, he's not going to get to finish this. We're going to be done. That's 8 minutes now, and we could end any second here. That's the problem with this. We're still going for the moment. It really depends on when H Racing Green started this timer. There he is into the pit lane. Changed tyres. He feels he's comfortable for the pole. We could see Piagci, and there we go. That's qualifying. Look how quick it ends, folks. That's what the GT tier is all about. Because you can't really monitor when to finish your laps, it just ends. Bit of a break now in between qualifying and the race as we line up on the grid to start here in Daytona. Here we go. We go racing in Daytona. There's a bit of trouble at the back for somebody there. Not quite sure who it was. I believe it was Hasnian. It was last week's winner. Didn't get away well. Of course, grid start's not great, but piling down towards turn 1. It's going to be H Racing Green, LQ Bal and Bonnie side by side in towards turn 1. The Supra doesn't get the run, and Bonnie in the Volkswagen Beetle looks strong here. He's going to try go around the outside. He's on the grass. The Italian's been pushed onto the grass by LQ Bal in the Supra, and he's going to have to slot into about 6th spot here, just beside Yassi Prez. We've 34 laps, and that's Geordie Boy. Just like last week, he's gone round in the Supra. That is for the Rayo Watanabe team. And H Racing Green leads here for the Invicta Racing team, the VR46 Mercedes. He leads, heading on to the back straight for the first time. It's LQ Bal. He follows him. Spun round Bonnie though, so he could be under investigation for that, quite possibly. He'll be in a bit of trouble for that. That was a bit of an incident at the start there, but here comes Petty Petyat. Leads ahead of Brownski, and Hasnian doesn't get the start he wants. Here comes LQ Bal. The Supra has the best straight line speed of the lot, and he's got ahead of H Racing Green into the Le Mans chicane, or the bus stop. It's going to be LQ Bal trying to take redemption for his disconnect in Interlagos, as the lag is very, very difficult here for the drivers to cope with. You can see H Racing Green almost bouncing down the straight. Piaggi seems to have it all under control. He could get a run here on H Racing Green. The Mercedes is not the car to be in for tonight's Grand Prix. That one there, the Toyota Supra, is definitely the one to be in. Here is Piaggi. He's going to try and get the run on H Racing Green down towards turn number 1. Who's going to lead out of it? H Racing Green breaks much later, but Piaggi's going to have the straight line speed. The Mercedes is able to cope with him through the corners, but it's really on those back straights where we have to watch. It's very dark here as well. Driver's going to be struggling. H Racing Green's run wide, and that's Piaggi up the inside, and now up to second, the Hungarian. It's a super 1-2 for two different teams, and now distinct Piaggi, very, very well-known driver in the community, is up to second spot. H Racing Green has lost third spot to Toby as well in the Turner's BMW. Having a great run here at the Turner's home Grand Prix in the United States here at Daytona. Yassi Prez going to pressure H Racing Green into the move. He's in the Genesis behind the Mercedes GT3. You can see him there. He's running a Bentley livery, which is, well, I have no idea why, but he's running a Bentley livery in the Genesis, so we'll leave him to that. And he's right on the back of H Racing Green. Further back, it looks like the other Invicta Mercedes not losing spots. He's going up a few. He's going to try get past Fred Dude, possibly into the bus stop. That Mazda is decent on his fuel though, so keep an eye on Fred Dude. He's got the suction behind Bonnie. Is he going to go for it into the bus stop? Who breaks the latest? Bonnie breaks much later here in the Volkswagen Beetle, and he's held the position. He has held the position. Keep an eye though on Yassi Prez. He's right up behind H Racing Green. We're going to go on board. If we can get on board, that is. Doesn't be letting us. 1 second. I'll get that fixed now for you folks. Here we go. Here comes Iqbal. And towards turn number 1. We'll see does H Racing Green make the move. No, can't get the move past Toby, and Yassi Prez can't get the move either. Oh, someone off? No, they've just lagged back on. The lag is very difficult here. Here comes Yassi Prez, going to try around the outside, the Lebanese man on the Briton. He's gone, switched him back down the inside. H Racing Green almost pushed off the circuit. The Mercedes lagging all over the shop, you can see there, but he's just about keeping with him. Yassi Prez. He's going to try down the inside into turn number 5. He is going to try down the inside into turn number 5. That's a great move for Yassi Prez, and he's now up to 4th. The man contracted to Veloce Esports is not waiting around to make his mark here on the PSGL GT7 Tier 1 League. And he's been bumped. Oh, H Racing Green has bumped him, and he's in the wall. Yassi Prez has found himself a tyre barrier, and that's really not good for the man running the Bentley livery, the number 107 machine. He's got the job done back on H Racing Green, but he now has Bonnie in front of him. Yassi Prez really getting the suction now. Oh, Bonnie, that Beetle not good in a straight line, we are figuring out. Here he goes then. Bonnie, can he defend just like he defended Fred Dude? He's found himself up to 4th. There goes Fred Dude past H Racing Green in the background as well. Geordie Boy recovered to 8th. Fair play to Geordie Boy. He's running very well on those set of racing mediums. Oh, look at H Racing Green. He's lagging all over the place. Fred Dude has picked up a penalty. Just wondering why the game's not letting us go inside the car, but we'll try and figure that out. As there goes H Racing Green and Geordie Boy. Geordie Boy really optimistic down the inside of both of them. That's a great move for Geordie Boy on the tri-oval section here of Daytona. He's got the job done down the inside, and Geordie Boy, the Dutchman, now up to 6th position after being spun round on the opening lap. Yassi Perez riding the curb there, still attacking Bonnie, but it is still LQ Bal leading the race by 3.6 seconds, absolutely in dominant fashion over Piaggi. The two front runners here, not expected. Someone's gone very wide. Who's that gone very wide? It's Yassi Perez in the Genesis. He's gone really wide there and now under pressure from the Invicta machine of YRS. In the Invicta VR46 team, Perez defends well into turn 5. And now Brownski finish on the podium in Interlagos, looking for a move on YRS. YRS has got to try and force around the outside of Yassi Perez. Still 30 laps to go, still plenty of time to do it. Let's take a look at this. Look at Geordie Boy in that Supra. That Supra is working like absolute dynamite today, folks. He's right on the back of Bonnie. Still not letting us go inside the car, unfortunately. We will try to get a couple of inside cockpit shots for you, but there goes Geordie Boy down the inside into the bus stop. Bonnie can brake really late into the bus stop though, so keep an eye for the 333 on the brakes. And H Racing Green haven't so. Whoa, that's a lot of lag there. That's really unfortunate. It's a lot of lag for H Racing Green. Penalty there though for Bonnie. Broke a bit too late into the bus stop. He will lose a couple of spots here. Here comes the slowdown penalty. There it is. He's going to lose 2 spots. He's going to lose a spot to Fred Dude. Fred Dude chucks it up the inside on the tri-oval. And that is a great move for Fred Dude in the Mazda. He's going to go much longer than everyone in this race. That Mazda is perfect on its fuel around the Daytona Speedway. Of course, this is the Rolex 24 course. Happens at the very start of the year, the first IMSA race. 24 hours, of course, of this circuit. It's a great race if you do watch it. Very equal, much more even than Le Mans, some say, due to the BOP. Of course, there's also BOP on this race. So all cars are at a similar stature, but the different attributes of each. Toby running well in that BMW though. That BMW was a horror car in Brazil. You didn't want to be in it. But the 14 Turner's car running very well here around Daytona. Geordie Boy also running well after his early spin. He's recovered to 4th and 5 laps, so keep an eye on him in the latter parts of the race. H Racing Green's lag seems to be not as bad now. Here comes Yassi Perez. He's going to try and go around the outside of Bonnie. Bonnie struggling very much in the Volkswagen Beetle here around Daytona, but Perez is right on the back of him. Bonnie can brake much later into this bus stop though, so Perez needs to watch that. Yep, not gone for the move. We'll try fix the onboard shots for you now, because they don't seem to be working too well, which is a real shame, because we love to get an onboard shot here and there. Yeah, definitely not letting us go inside the car for the moment, whatever the cause of that might be. But look at the front two, absolutely soaring away. 9.8 seconds ahead of Toby, the front two are. So that's interesting to see. Fred Dude running very high there, taking a very high line. Yassi Perez cannot make the move stick. Petty Petya really struggling. Don't really know what's wrong with him and Brownski, but the car just doesn't seem to be working well around Daytona. And Hasnian, last week's race winner, stuck at the back. Absolutely, well and truly stuck at the back is Hasnian. LQ Bal's the fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far with a 1:45.0. The lap record around the Daytona Speedway is it's quite a substantial bit faster. It's a 1:33.724 by Alex Palou. in the Rolex 24. Alex Poloni, current IndyCar champion, of course. If you're not familiar with the name. Here comes H Racing Green. Tucks into the slipstream with Geordie Boy. He's going to struggle to get past this Supra. The Supra is absolutely dominant in a straight line. But H Racing Green's determined to make it work in the Invicta VR46 machine. Here he goes. Tucks in to the slipstream nicely. What can Geordie Boy do? Geordie Boy just has the legs on the Mercedes down the straight. And these guys are catching the Turner's car. Oh, look at H Racing Green's lag. That cannot be pretty for the other drivers behind him on the circuit. Yassi Perez has actually lost another spot behind YRS 2003. He was attacking Bonnie for 7th. He's now attacking the Invicta machine for 8th. So he's lost another spot there, Perez, falling backwards as the race goes on. We're on lap 6, and he's going to try chuck it up the inside in the tri-oval. Anyone familiar with NASCAR and Daytona 500 will know the inside's the best line, really, in this corner. Here we go. Can he chuck him in on Bonnie? No, Bonnie covers the inside. Then towards turn number 1, the 107 car is going to have to settle for 8th. You can see H Racing Green right on the back of Toby. He's got past Geordie Boy into turn number 1, so the Mercedes running well despite the Supra's advantage. And there goes Perez. There goes Perez into the grass again, and it's all gone wrong for him, and he's out. First retirement of the United States Grand Prix here at Daytona Speedway. It is Yassi Perez in the Genesis, running the Bentley livery. Oh, there goes Toby round as well. It's all gone wrong here. Toby in the Turner's car has ended up round and is now dropped down to 7th. That promotes Geordie Boy onto the podium. And Toby drops down to 7th, was running really well in that 14. But unfortunately he has dropped down just in front of Petit Petiat and behind Bonnie. I believe there was a collision of some sort there because YRS, I believe he's hit Perez. I believe that's what happened, and why Perez has retired. I think he was hit by the Invicta racing car. And look at H Racing Green in the other Invicta car. He's chucked it up the inside of Geordie Boy, and it's absolutely worked for H Racing Green. Brilliant move there. Fred Dude on the back now of Geordie Boy as well in the Mazda. The Mazda slowly sneaking its way into this race, as we always expect it to do. It's a great car on its fuel and tyres, and it's now snuck in right behind Geordie Boy. Still very unsure to why we're not allowed to go inside the car, but we'll have to just settle for this view for the time being. We're able to go inside it in qualifying. As there goes Geordie Boy looking for the move on H Racing Green. That straight line speed for the Supra is just absolutely unbelievable. Oh, look at Geordie Boy. He's gone off the circuit at the International Horseshoe. He's off into the grass. His teammate is leading the race in dominant fashion. He's dropped down below Petit Petiat, and for the second time today Geordie Boy has to do a recovery drive. Thankfully he managed to complete the other one in about 4 laps, so we should see him up the front there about lap 12 with the pace he has. But Petit Petiat is all over the back of the 76 now. The Ryo Watanabe livery, Ryo Watanabe team, of course. Petit Petiat now is really pressuring into a move down in towards turn number 6. Can he chuck it up the inside? No. He's leading his teammate Brownski, the former AOR champion. Here comes Petit Petiat. I don't think he's going to get the run on the Supra here in the straight. The Supra, the very fast car down the straight, or the bankings, if you want to call it that. Here we go, down towards the bus stop. First pit stop of the day. That's El Cubalin, the race leader. It was a 2-stop in Interlagos. I imagine it'll be a 2-stop here if that's how much he can last. Still has a lot of fuel in the Supra, what could definitely do with some more tyres. Here comes Brownski on his teammate Petit Petiat. He's going to tuck to the inside of the banking. It's about a 34-degree banking at the best of times here in Daytona Speedway. And Brownski is up to 5th position. He's been nowhere really in the first 9 laps of this Grand Prix. He's up there now. And the Slag Racing team gets the job done. There's LQ Ball in the pit lane. It's a very slow stop. Toby and Geordie Boy both venturing in the pit lane as well. Toby in the Turner's car. He was running solid, was Toby, until he had that incident. I don't know if there was another car involved in that or he just spinned it himself, but he was on the grass, and now Petty Petyat is trying to defend from Hasnian. Look how Hasnian has come into this one all of a sudden. He was down the back for a good 6 or 7 laps, but he's in this one now. So we'll see what he can do as we head on to the banking for the 9th time. Look at that lead for Piaggi though, the Distinctman, driving for the Distinct team. We all expected him to be up there. He is a absolutely fantastic driver, one of the best. Some of the guys he's training with, his teammates, they would be in the top GT World Series. Into turn number 1 for Piaggi. He stays out, he's comfortable on those racing hards. LQ Ball came out in 9th, he's the man challenging him. YRS penalty to serve. And here comes the 2. The 11. Pressuring Petty Petyat into a move. Brownski. These guys don't want to make too much of a ruckus because they will allow Hasnian through. Is this USA? Yes, this is Daytona. Daytona International Speedway hosts the Rolex 24 and the Daytona 500. And here's a fun fact for you. It has the most escalators in a sporting stadium in the United States, with a total of 40 escalators. To get up to those high stands on the bankings, there's a random fact you didn't expect to hear today while watching league racing. Here comes YRS, gonna chuck it up the inside of Hasnian. No, backs out. Probably the best thing to do there. Just look at those roaring red brakes on Hasnian's Lexus. It's a very dull night here. I know that sounds stupid, but it's normally a little bit brighter in the infield section here at Daytona. There goes Hasnian up the inside of Brownski. The man who won last week in Brazil. He's got the run on Brownski, and so is YRS, and YRS could look to make a move here on Hasnian as well. YRS finished in 9th spot last week, did the 27. He wants to go higher today. He chucks one up the inside, does not work. There is Brownski on the back of him through the Le Mans chicane. Le Mans chicane, of course, recently renamed. And there goes YRS. Hasnian fancies took it into a bit of slipstream, does he? He's Brownski right behind him as well, though. The SR team car trying to get past the Lexus in front of it, of Hasnian. Hasnian for the Ashi Cashier car. Or Cashiai, possibly. This is a really close scrap down towards turn 1. This is where it could all go wrong. Who brakes later? Hasnian, much later on the brakes than Brownski. And he's got it done there. Hasnian was ahead of them both, but he's now only ahead of one. Takes a bit of curb and into the international horseshoe of turn number 3. It's still Piaggi leading. He's not made his pit stop yet. It was a really early pit stop by this man, LQ Ball. Oh no, that's Geordie Boy. That's LQ Ball. Geordie Boy and LQ Ball, both teammates for the Ryo Watambe, based off the old retro video game, is the name of that team. But Distinct Piaggi, driving for the Distinct team, named after his esports team he's a part of. He's a very quick driver, folks. Definitely keep an eye on him. Here is Bonnie trying to defend from Petty Petyat. Look at YRS going the long way around the banking to get the job done on Petty Petyat. That Mercedes is flying here. The Invicta VR46 car has got the job done on Petty Petyat. Can he get the job done? Can he get on Bonnie into the bus stop or the Le Mans chicane. No, he can't, but he's got a great exit in that Mercedes. Now we can get a cockpit camera. It's working again. Here comes the Mercedes. This is what he's seeing. Oh, he's picked up a penalty. That's going to cost him now a couple of positions because of how close this field is. But it's still going to be, it's going to be a little bum drag for the Italian of Bonnie in front. And now we'll see him serve the slowdown here. Down. The inside goes Petty, the Hungarian. Gets the job done. Here comes Hasnian as well. Gets the job done. In the Let's for Pets Lexus. Bonnie has somehow found himself up to 4th here. That's a turn for the books for the Beetle. The OP Beetle. Driving for the executive project team is Bonnie. Here comes Petty Petya trying to move up the inside here. On board. And now he's been done there in the brakes by Hasnian. Hasnian getting a move done there, heading into turn number 5. Can he possibly get a move done on Bonnie as well? He's had a bit of a bum track. This midfield is up and down here. Great battle happening. All these guys struggling on fuel apart from Hasnian. Hasnian won the race last week because he did the one stop. There goes Hasnian round the outside of Bonnie. Here comes YRS. Gonna try and get involved as well in the VR46 car. I'm going to go 3 wide into the bus stop. I believe we might. Here comes YRS just tucked into the slipstream of Hasnian. No, these guys will stay in single file heading into the chicane. They don't want to pick up a penalty. Very strict track limits, and they are being monitored by the race stewards in the stewards' notes. Some Italians supporting Bonnie in the chat. We love to see it. Love to see the national support. Here comes YRS trying to get the job done on Hasnian. Oh, he's in the pits. He's into the pit lane. Let's see. He's on 16% fuel. Needed a pit stop here. And that will allow Toby Geordie Boy to jump. LQ Ball is back into the mix here. He's right behind Petty Petya. Bonnie's run wide. Bonnie's round. Bonnie's round in the Volkswagen Beetle. He's recovered it well, I think. No, facing the wrong way. Facing the wrong way is Bonnie. And that's really unfortunate for him because he was running so well in not the best of cars, but he's just lost it on the old tyres. Very unfortunate for the executive project team. There's YRS still in the pit lane. And there is Geordie Boy and Toby flying up past them. 12 runners here, still in the United States Grand Prix. Piachi's going to be into the pit lane this lap, and we'll see where he comes out in relation to Iqbal. Or LQ Bal, apologies. I imagine it will be the Malaysian in front. There he is, into pit road, as they call it here in the States. Let's see. Let's keep an eye on the pit stop here for Piachi. What about H Racing Green? He could stay out for another lap, so he's still okay in the Mercedes. But it's really between himself and LQ Bal. Where's LQ Bal? Currently coming through the bus stop / Le Mans chicane. Tucking into the slipstream of last week's winner, Hasnian, is the number 7. An absolute very, very nice livery on that Supra, I have to say. It's looking very well. He's going to go around the outside of Hasnian. What about Hasnian in terms of the pits? Is he going to pile in? No. Going to tuck in behind. There's Piachi. What is the distinct crew doing? Can they get that car out in front of LQ Bal? I don't think they will. Where's Piachi? He's still held in the box, and it's going to be LQ Bal who's in the provisional lead here in Daytona Speedway. He's well ahead. Where is Piachi? He's just exit behind Petty Petya. It's a Hungarian 5-6. But Piachi in the 77 car now dropped to 6th. 3 spots behind Iqbal. It will be LQ Bal and Piachi 1 and 2 when everybody pits, especially Fred Dude and H Racing Green. That will be the order of things then, but for now, Piachi stuck behind his fellow Hungarian Petty Petya and Hasnian. It's been a very jumbled up midfield so far. We still have 20 laps to go here. It's going to be very interesting because I think it was fuel that Piaggi had to pit for. I think his tyres were doing alright, and if you look at the tyres of Hasnian's very good in his tyres. He might be able to try a one-stop again here today. Maybe you do have to use both compounds, the hards and the medium compound of tyres. Harvey Racing Green, is he going to be into the pit lane? He isn't. He stays out. That's bold. What about Fred Dude? Both staying out. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting, that one, because they're very low on fuel, so they will be struggling for the remainder of this lap. Piaggi tucked up behind Petty Petya, tucks to the inside of the Hungarian, and it's true. The 77 now just has Hasnian to navigate, and then he's up behind LQ Bal once again. Blue flag there for somebody. I think it was just a bit of lag, because we don't have anyone a lap down this early in the race, especially at a monstrous track like the Daytona Speedway. Of course, the two famous races held here, the Daytona 500 and the Rolex 24. Only 3 guys to win both. Those were AJ Foyt, Mario Andretti and Jamie McMurray. The 3 guys to win the Rolex 24 and the Daytona 500. One on the tri-oval, which is just the oval bits, and then of course one on this infield section, the road course. Just like Indianapolis with the oval and the road course. And Texas Motor Speedway with the oval, the roval, and the road course. William France Sr. designed this circuit, of course, and he did a good job because we're having a great race so far. I'm sure this is the sole reason he designed it, but of course William France Sr., one of the founders of NASCAR, if you didn't know. So it was built by a NASCAR man and lent it to us for some brilliant GT racing. Iqbal into the chicane. Surely H Racing Green is into the pit lane here. Yes, he is. Pulls in to the pit lane with 1% fuel. He's got his margins perfect. Fred Dude also into the pit lane in the Mazda. So it'll be LQ Bal leading again. Ahead of, will it be Piaggi or Hasnian? It'll be Piaggi, and Piaggi's got past them with absolutely no troubles whatsoever. Meaning, it will be the 2 fastest guys, 1 and 2. 4.6 seconds separates them. We'll have to wait and see how this one plays out, because Piaggi, he's on the better tyres. Where's Bonnie into the pit lane as well. Quick run through the order so far, as we are 2 laps away from reaching the halfway point. It is LQ Bal leading for the Rio Watanabe racing team. Then it is Distinct Piaggi ahead of Hasnian. Hasnian still has to pit. We then have Petty Petya ahead of Brownski. Also, these two still have to pit. Then we have H Racing Green, who's just come out of the pit lane for the Invicta VR46 team. He's currently in 6th position. Fred Dude 7th in the Mazda, not doing too shabby, and Geordie Boy in 8th. Geordie Boy having 2 spins so far this race, so he needs to keep an eye. Toby also having a spin. He's down in 9th. YRS in 10th ahead of Bonnie, who's just come out of the pit lane and heading into the International Horseshoe in 11th. And he is unfortunately 1 minute 19 off the lead. The Beetle not having a good day of things. LQ Bal into turn 1, and there goes Hasnian. He's not gonna... He might be able to do a one-stop, you know, because he's very good in his fuel and very good in his tyres. He sacrifices pace, but doing one less pit stop than everybody else is absolutely massive around the Daytona International Speedway. Around any track, but especially here. We'll see Fred Dude take the spot off him, as there's not many battles, but that's what happens with GT racing. Gap up the front is being pulled by Iqbal. big gaps here. A lot of field spread since the pit stops. So that's going to be interesting to see, because of course if you do a longer pit stop here, it normally means you put in more fuel. Geordie Boy is very much struggling on fuel because he hasn't pit yet. Hasnian has come out in 8th spot ahead of Toby. He's come out in 8th spot ahead of Toby. You can see his brake balance there. He's shown it. He's running 0. So happy enough with the standard of the car. But here comes LQ Bala race leader. It's right on board. This is exactly what he's seeing inside. Well, he's probably not using half the camera, but this is what the driver is seeing. Heading down towards turn 1. That's right on board with the first sector. Brakes really late in the Supra. Great car is the Supra, and that's Petty Petya into the pit lane. Into one of 2 named corners, the International Horseshoe. Oh, he just jumped off from there. It's jumped off to Piazzi. And here we go again. For El Kibao. Using automatic transmission. Okay, that's interesting. Here's Piazzi also using automatic transmission. All these guys are using automatic transition. Unless maybe that's a graphical error. I can't see why they are doing their own gears. Yeah, that's definitely a graphic error. There's definitely not the entire field using automatic transition. And if there is, I would be very shocked. Of course, automatic transmission is just when the game upshifts and downshifts for you. All these cars are fully engined, not electrical, so they will all be a stick shift. Have paddle shifters, but they will be known still as a stick shift. Fred Dude under pressure here from Geordie Boy, but Fred Dude has made his pit stop and Geordie Boy has not, so Geordie Boy still has to pile into the pit lane. We are halfway through this Grand Prix now, and Geordie Boy has set a new PB. He could be pushing to get past Fred Dude here. He's been very up and down so far. This race has Geordie Boy. Pressuring into the bus stop. Here he goes around the outside of the banking of Fred Dude. Comes Geordie Boy, the Dutchman. Absolutely great move to hang it round the outside of the banking. The slower line, but the super straight line speed once again proving absolutely superior. And the 76 Supra is up to 4th spot with a pit stop to go. Great move there for Geordie Boy. Haslian under pressure from Toby in the Turner's BMW. The Turner's BMW team currently 7th in the constructor standings. Of course, constructor standings are different because not every team is 2 drivers. Some would be a 1-car entry, but it's currently the Slag Racing team who are leading ahead of the Azahai team, and then it's the Invicta, the R46 crew of H Racing Green and YRS. They're a 2-car entry. All the top 3 are a 2-car entry. It's the best way to guarantee a Constructors' Championship would be definitely a 2-car entry. It's an 8.1 second gap between LQ Bal and between Distinct Piazzi. Piazzi was with him for the first stint, but he's fallen off big time since the pit stops. H Racing Green could pick up a second podium in 2 weeks here in the Mercedes. And there's a beautifully coloured Ferris wheel there on the infield. Absolutely stunning. But Daytona providing another good race here so far. We're 19 laps in. We have 34 to do, and all drivers now almost completed, apart from Geordie Boy, their mandatory tyre requirements. You had to set 25% of the race on them on each set. That's a medium and hard. Toby still tucked into the slipstream of last week's race winner Hasnian. Look at Geordie Boy struggling on fuel. This is going to be a long stretch to the end for Geordie Boy. After his pit stop, he's going to fall right to the back. But the Supra's good pace, so he could fight back. That could be a little bit of entertainment for the end. We're right on board. Fred Dude pressuring him after Geordie Boy got past Fred Dude. Fred Dude's not falling away, and Fred Dude knows he will get this spot back. Geordie Boy very slow into the bus stop. Let us know down below who you're cheering for in the race. Always love to see you, and we know we have a Bonnie fan. Good to see who everybody is cheering for. We have one retirement so far here in Daytona, as there is Geordie Boy into the pit lane. The one retirement, of course, was Yassi Perez. Piazzi losing time, sliding up the rear. He's slowly being crawled in by H Racing Green here. Can he catch by the end of the race? We'll have to wait and see. Let's have a look at Geordie Boy's pit stop. There he goes into the box. Won't have to put as much fuel in. Only 14 laps to do from the Toyota Supra. There goes Brownski past him. Will he lose the spot to Bonnie too? He might do. Oh, Toby, we've a second retirement. That's Toby out of the race for the Turner's car. Finished 8th last week in Interlagos. He will finish as a non-finisher. That's okay. That's Elke Bal into the pit lane for a second pit stop. And a lot of these guys are going to have to make second pit stops here. Here's Piaggi to the lead. Could we see another turnaround like Interlagos? Here comes the 7 Supra. Into the pit lane in the Ryo Watanabe car. 3% fuel, so he was running on fumes, was Elke Bal. Where is he going to come out? Geordie Boy came out miles behind. It's a long wait for the Supra to get nice and refueled up. And now he's gone. Out of the pit lane. He's got to come out in 5th position because YRS has come into the pit lane as well for the Invicta team. Okay, interesting. A lot of second stops are being made. Can anybody realistically go to the end? Petty Petyat can. He's going to invite himself into this battle because he can go to the end. He finished in 4th spot last week, and it's looking like he'll get another good result here. Well, the Hungarian, Jason Green, now up to 2nd. Runs a bit wide there, but that could have been just a lag. As there we see YRS out of the pit lane, just ahead of Bonnie. Bonnie still firmly down the back. So right on board with Piaggi, our current race leader for a bit. We can see him surge through the night time here in Daytona. 11 laps to go. And this race is not over yet because he's not going to be able to get to the end. So he will have to pit at some point. What would he pit for? Hards or mediums? We've seen the mediums not last too long. As there he is correcting the car. There goes Nick Bout past Petty Petya. No, he's not. Who's he passed there? He's passed somebody. His name shot up a spot. As Geordie Boy is closing in on Brownski. Brownski can go to the end as well. So the two cars there will be able to push in towards the top 5. Penalty for Piaggi, so this could cost him a little bit. He has to serve 5/10. Is he going to come to the pit lane on this lap? No, stays out. Okay. Hasnian is going to have to defend from Kibau in a moment's time in the Supra, the 7 Supra. As we see him close in, he's 1.4 behind is the Malaysian. Really pressuring Hasnian into a move here. Of course, this is last week's pole sitter and today's pole sitter against last week's winner, Hasnian. He took the full 16 points last week. Did Hasnian with H Racing Green, picking up 13. That was the fastest lap in 12. And let's see, can IQ Bal go for a move here? LQ Bal, apologies. Brakes a lot later than Hasnian. That's the better tyres coming into play. He's on fairly new hards against knackered mediums. Of course, you have to use both. And Hasnian's going to struggle to make the end on those mediums because he still has 10 laps to do here around Daytona. And here comes Kibau. Can he do it around the banking? That Supra is absolutely brilliant on the straight. We've seen it all day. Here he goes round the outside. It's going to be Kibau up to 4th spot. And now he's looking even more comfortable to possibly take a win here this evening. Because of course the top 3 in front of him do still have to make a pit stop. The Rare Tanbay Supra is up to 4th position. And there goes H Racing Green into the pits. And I believe Piaggi will do one more lap and then into the pits. What about Fred, dude? He can carry on, I think, in that Mazda. The Mazda proving to be another good car for fuel saving. He carries on. Of course, you get a penalty if you do cross that white line, so you can't do a late pit stop. Hasnian may be in this lap. No, Hasnian stays on, feels he's enough to go. There's Petty Petya to the bus stop. H Racing Green went in with 1% again. So once again, timing his fuel. What tyres has he gone for? He's gone for a set of the racing hards there, I believe. A set of Pirellis on the Mercedes. As the long refuel wait continues. So painfully long when you are a driver sat in that pit box, trust me, because you can just see yourself losing all the positions. It's a set of the racing mediums, so H Racing Green's going to have a bit of pace towards the end of this race. He will get the spot on Hasnian, and he will get it on Fred, dude. Can he get it on Piaggi? I don't believe so, because Piaggi will be in on this lap. Now, the real battle here is Piaggi versus Kibau. Kibal's 40.1 seconds off the lead, and he struggled through there, but he's got the car hooked up now. Has Piaggi done enough to possibly jump the Malaysian into the pit lane? We'll keep an eye, because he's not going to have to put a lot of fuel in the car, and he can go for a set of the racing mediums to the end, running the Michelins. Is Piaggi. Unlike H Racing Green, who's running a set of Pirellis, there is no difference. It's really just personal preference. They're all the exact same tyres. It's what sponsor you want on them, to be fair. So here, he's running the Michelin instead of the Pirellis. There's no difference. As into the pit lane. Where's El Kibal? He's rounding the banking, and this needs to be a quick stop for Piaggi if he wants to come out in the race lead. Fred Dude also into the pit lane. There's El Kibal, there's Piaggi. When is that Supra going to be released? It's Supra against Supra. When is it gonna just be released from the pit box? And will it be in the race lead? There's the pit exit, and there's El Kibal, and he's going to lead again, because Piaggi, oh, he's right behind him. This is going to be really close, folks. He's had a great stop, and now the gap is only 1.6 seconds. With Piaggi on much better tyres, he's on a fresh set of racing mediums. El Kibal's on a fresh set of racing hards. So we've a 1.6 second gap with less than a quarter of the race to go. We're in for a right tussle. They're both in Supras, meaning it'll be a fairly even scrap towards the end of the race. H Racing Green is still 15.9 seconds behind the Mercedes-men. Is just trying to bring it home in a third spot, which is possibly will give him the lead in the championship. But this is a crucial time now for Piaggi and El Kibal, who can take their first win of the season. Of course, it was Hasnian who took the first win of the season in Interlagos. So it would be a first finish for both of these guys, because Piaggi didn't race in round 1 and El Kibal DNF'd. 1.2 now, Piaggi's gaining in, but El Kibal's had the pace all day, so it really matters on who can get the tyres to work. He's on board. Yes, Perez was hit off, that's why he retired. Toby had a spin and retired due to a force feedback issue, so that's what happened there. But Piaggi's definitely gaining on El Kibal here, and right when the race looked like it was dead, Piaggi has took right in. And he's hunting him down, It's a 1/10 of a second personal best lap time for Piaggi. El Kibal is now starting to ponder what does he have to do to win this race. It's a 4.5 mile a second wind, meter a second wind, apologies. It's a lot more rougher than the start of the race. That could come into play because the wind does change things. It will slow lap times down and it will increase tyre wear. They're both fine on fuel, both fine on tyres, but they're on two different compounds. El Kibal is on a set of the racing hards, Piaggi on a set of the racing mediums. What a distinct team. They're tucked into the inside. El Kibal is weaving. We're on board with Piaggi as he's hunting down the Supra in front of him, in a Supra himself. We're on bonnet camera here. Oh, sorry, we're on bumper camera here. He goes. Look at El Kibal weaving. He doesn't want Piaggi to get the tow. We head on to lap 28 of 34, and now the lead might just change on this lap. Down towards turn number 1. Who breaks the latest? El Kibal into the braking zone. Now Piaggi into the braking zone. Piaggi's gained a bit of time there, and he just has more grip on those racing mediums than El Kibal's racing hards. And the two Supras are going at it here. Piaggi tucked right up behind as we enter the international horseshoe. He's looking for the inside. He's not got the inside. El Kibal won't be done over that easy in the Supra. Runs a very tight ship, especially when it comes to defending his position. The Malaysian. As will Piaggi just be able to get past into the bus stop, the Le Mans chicane, as it's now known as exit 6, And it's going to be Elcubal who's got the exit there. He's got the exit on Piaggi, but Piaggi will get the slipstream. Meaning he's not going to be too far off into the bus stop. Here we go. Is Piaggi going to look for the move? No, he's too far back on this occasion. He's going to have to wait, and Elcubal, I have to say, doing a great job to stay ahead there. But look at the run Piaggi's got out of the chicane, and now we're going to have a lead change. He's going to go to the outside. Elcubal's going to absolutely hold the inside. The Hungarian almost given a bump draft. Now to the outside, tucks back in. Doesn't feel like he has the straight line speed. He wants that inside line. He's not going to get it that easy. So it's going to have to be the outside. Lead change. It's going to be the Hungarian. All the better tyres to go for first spot. But look at Elcubal somehow has kicked up speed. It's the fastest lap of the race for the Hungarian. And who breaks latest? Elcubal is going to lead still somehow. Piaggi on the outside. We're going to be side by side heading into turn 2 and into turn 3. Who's going to lead? This is a great scrap. Piaggi down the inside. Breaks later of the two. And now Elcubal, who's been quicker on pace all day, now has the attacking to do. Piaggi somehow gets the job done into the international horseshoe and now leads into 4. Elcubal's been really quick into this corner all day. That's Bonnie out of the race. That is the executive project team running the Volkswagen Beetle. He's out. He's was at the back anyways. But now Elcubal has all the attacking to do. Piaggi leads in Daytona for the first time on pace. Of course, he's been there because Elcubal was the earlier pitter. But Piaggi's tyres just in better nick at the moment. Here comes Elcubal on the slipstream. What can he do? He's going to have to wait behind for the moment. Oh, he's heading for a wall. Ooh, just lagged there. Thought he was heading for a wall for a moment. Ding ding, round number 2. Here we go. Iqbal versus Piaggi into the first sector. It was Piaggi who got the job done the last time, but Elcubal he's got to go over the outside. Is the Malaysian? Can he get the job done? Can he break the later? Up the 2, down into the break into zone. Quickly down the gears. Is it going to be a switchback, or does Piaggi just have the defence on him? He has the defence on him into the international horseshoe. This is where the move was done the last time. It's going to be the outside for Elcubal. Tries to dummy him in. The roaring red brakes breaking the later of the 2. The Rio Watanabe racing team settling for second, heading into 5. The Hungarian still leads this Grand Prix. All it takes here is one of these guys to make a mistake, and the race will be in the other one's hands. It's a purple sector 2 for Piaggi. He's driving very, very well. Down to the bus stop. Elcubal's quick into there. It's another purple sector for Piaggi. Elcubal is tucked up into the slipstream. Here we go. He's got a run on him now. This is going to be close into turn number 1, starting lap 31. And now it's going to be Elcubal for the lead, possibly. Is he going to try and dummy him? He's tucked back into the slipstream, but it's still going to be the outside. He's 2/10 off the fastest lap. Down towards turn number 1. The Supra versus the Supra. And Piaggi nails his braking once again into 2. And then the international horseshoe. Piaggi defending the inside lines into absolutely every corner. Look at this. Round the outside for Elcubal. No, he's missed it. And he's run wide. And now Piaggi has to run on him down towards turn number 5. There goes Alkibal, big send! Big send up the inside of the Supra. Not worked. On that occasion, he has to settle for second. Possibly for the remainder of the lap here now. It was worth a chance. It was definitely worth a chance. 5 tenths separate the front two. Just dropping back. There's a battle here between Fred Dude and Petty Petyan. And there's a battle between YRS and Brownski. But I don't think we can focus on that for too much longer, because there's a brilliant scrap for the race lead here. To the bus stop. Now Cabal braking much later. You can see him going a little bit offline, and times like that heading for a wall. That is just the lag. Oh, that's a mistake. That's a big mistake. It's a penalty for Piazzi. He's picked up 5 tenths of a penalty and will now have to decelerate at the next penalty line, which is coming up right now. And this will now give El Cabal the race lead. There he goes. Can Piazzi just keep with him? It's going to be crucial. He still has him in sight, that is for sure, and that is maybe all the motivation he needs. Gonna have to attack this first sector to get back within 5 tenths. Oh, he's almost spun, he's in the wall! The Hungarian has lost it, and he has pushed too much in the first sector, and it has cost him the race win. El Cabal, if it all goes right, will win this one, because Piazzi has overdrove his Supra. After picking up the penalty, he's hit the wall now in sector 1, the pit exit wall, and that is it. Well, Piazzi, unless he can have the monstrous 2 laps of his life, but I still think it'll be a bit too much even at that. Big mistake there for Piazzi. El Cabal looking solid to take the win now. Second place, still a great result on his debut, but he would have liked so much more. It was through turn 2, he lost it on the rear turn number 1, and then leading into 2 is when he hit the wall. We're going to start the penultimate lap of the race, and it's the gap of 2.5 seconds. It could have been him in the lead if he didn't pick up that penalty. Just think about that. There would have been contact between the leaders, because if he had a spun while in the lead, it would have been heartbreaking. He's very lucky he didn't fully rotate, because then it would have been him possibly losing second to H Racing Green at the World Centre of Racing, Daytona International Speedway. There's El Cabal leading, and there is Piazzi in second. Battle further down between Petty Petyan and Fred Dude has not developed. Fred Dude with much better pace since that second pit stop in the Mazda. Petty Petyan in the Subaru BRZ GT300, not running as well this week as they were last week. El Cabal absolutely miles ahead now as we head into turn number 5 for the second final time. Great battle developed there. Would have been great to see the end of it. But unfortunately, Piazzi made the mistake when he didn't want to. That's what we said, though. We said that it would be whoever makes the first mistake would lose it. And it was Piazzi who made the first mistake. The 77 will be in second, but El Cabal Suji, the Malaysian. He's low on fuel. They're both low on fuel, but I think they should both just about make the end. They both have calculated it well, as there goes H Racing Green. These two have been well clear on pace today, though. That is to be said. Whoever won out of that battle definitely deserved the win, and it's looking like it's going to be El Cabal as we head across the line. White flag to start the final lap of the race. Past the Sunoco fuel sign into turn number 2. And now heading down towards the International Horseshoe. Takes a lot on the exit there, does El Kebab. He's pushing. I think he wants the fastest lap. Now that he's on much lower fuel, he could take it, and the tyres have completely dropped off for Piaggi. Meaning he probably would have lost this race without that mistake, but the tyres have completely dropped off. Just crossing the hour mark. Is Piaggi really losing time? El Kebab going for the fastest lap. It's a purple sector. He is pushing for the fastest lap on the final attempt here. Into the bus stop. The Le Mans chicane. Runs a bit wide, but not looking too shabby. And that's the final braking zone. It's a smooth run to the line. He's kept it clean. Dominant force all day in terms of pace. Had a little bit of a hiccup when he was stuck behind Piaggi. And stuck behind Hasney and in the earlier stints. But El Kebab's been the dominant force all evening here in Daytona International Speedway. The man who wins in the World Centre of Racing, the Malaysian, takes the victory in the second round of the season here in the United States by about 5 seconds, and did not take the fastest lap. There, Power drives into turn number 1. Piaggi, it says, has taken the win, but no, it was definitely El Kebab who took the win there. H Racing Green comes across and will finish on the podium and finish in 3rd spot. There's El Kebab disconnecting there, but he did take the win. H Racing Green comes across the line in 2nd. Or in 3rd, apologies. And Fred Dude will come across the line in 4th. You'll probably think he is a podium, but the race was won by El Kebab. Fred Dude coming across the line past the final penalty zone. He pulled away from Petit Petiat in the final stint on those set of racing mediums. Flashes the lights and comes across in 4th. Petit Petiat will come across in 5th. No, it says it's 4th, but that is just due to the disconnect from the race leader. Hasnian comes across just behind him, so that was a close battle there. Geordie Boy comes across in 7th. Brownski will come across the line in 8th, and then it'll be YRS who comes across in 9th. We had a fair few retirements there. It was 9 finishers in the end. As you can see, YRS lag across the line. Here comes Brownski, crosses the line in 8th position. Not as good as last week where he finished in 3rd. But here comes YRS across the line to round us out. 9th place finisher for the Invicta VR46 team. Not as good as he would like, but still a fairly decent result. And that is it, folks. I don't think we are going to get the final race cutscene we did last week. That's just due to some lag issues. But race winner is El Kebab in Daytona. El Kebab is under investigation, folks. He did not do the required time on the medium compound of tyres. Yeah, that's it. That's going to be a disqualification. It's going to be Piaggi who wins. Oh no! It's all gone wrong. Well, we'll have to wait and see for the stewards. But that is all for now, folks. We'll have to get a report on that. I don't think it is 9 laps. I think it's just 25% of the race, which would not be 9 laps. We'll have to wait and see. But thank you all for tuning in, folks. That's all we do have here from Daytona Speedway. El Kebab wins. Ahead of Piaggi and then ahead of H Racing Green. We shall catch you next week, folks. Goodbye.